Hey Pisces, hello and welcome into your new moon reading. This is a new moon in Taurus reading for you, my beautiful Pisces. Welcome in, my lovely fishies. Welcome in. I am Lauren the Mystic, and I am just here to do a general reading that is going to go a little bit deeper into some soul growth. That's what's coming up. We are post-eclipse season, planets turning direct and beginning to really send us all of their messages. Mercury, Venus, a lot of very powerful transits recently in the sky. So it's not just about this new moon energy, but that is our focus today. So let's tune in for our Piscean collective, please, Spirit. Angels, ancestors, supporting Pisces, God, Source, Spirit, show us clearly what is coming up for this new moon in Taurus for Pisces. Okay, Pisces, and we're going to get some cards here, tuning into the sun's energy, tuning into the moon's energy and your energy, and what kind of seeds of blessings, manifestations, new intentions really want to be planted at this time. What guidance does Spirit have for you in regards to the soul growth process underway for our Pisces? So Pisces, let's talk a little more about this moon as I'm shuffling the cards here for you. This is a super moon. And what that means is that the moon is in its closest orbit to the Earth. And it's going to be felt in a more amplified manner. And what is amplifying is the energies that are contained within this cycle. And so a new moon in Taurus is fixed Earth energy, governed by the beautiful Venus. Okay, Spirit, show us Pisces. Whoopsie, I'm glad that didn't fall. They're not in reverse, so, okay. And Pisces, one more, please. Sorry, I kind of got off track there, but what I was saying is this is fixed Earth energy, which is really, really potent for long-term manifestation and growth for yourself. So it's a very, very potent time for us to be thinking about not only what's coming up in our life and what we have recently moved through, but also where we really want to plant some very strong seeds for ourselves in the future, where we want to move forward, right? Okay. All right, let's get some soul growth messages to Pisces, and then we'll begin to unpack your reading. So the North Node is in your sign, and you should be feeling rather activated already in terms of potentially feeling some significant shifts. There's always a lot of soul growth and shadow work when your particular axis is being worked over by the eclipse axis. When the nodal axis transits through, it's an intense period of time, and that can last 18 months approximately, give or take, and those eclipse energies can really work you over. So it can extend, right? It can extend. Let's see, Pisces, please, one more, Spirit, for Pisces. Okay. All right, darlings, let's take a look. Here we go. Just listening in as I tune into your reading. This one's going deep, Pisces. So again, this is a general reading. I always recommend listening to your big three, right? Sun, moon, and rising sign. But I welcome you in if you are Pisces sun, Pisces moon, Pisces rising, significant placements if you have a stellium in Pisces or north node placement naturally by birth, or also, if your Venus is in Pisces, this could be significant for you. And I like to listen to a variety of my placements. I always listen to my main three because it kind of gives you more of the story. And sometimes since this is a collective reading, it's not always your reading. So if you would like a more personal reading, I am trying out a new service. So I'm going to drop a link below. Definitely let me know what you think. And I'm also going to be trying out going live. So make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell down there because that will notify you. And I'm thinking about doing it sign by sign so that you can be notified when I'm going live for Pisces or any of your other placements. And then you can jump in and I can really tune into your energy more specifically. And it'll give you the opportunity to also ask some questions. So, all right. So this is a general reading. Again, take what resonates, Pisces, but we've got be bold and make the first move, Cardinal Moon, as your first card out. And so what I think this is saying is that there was something really initiated at that last moon cycle, so a month ago, at the partial total solar eclipse. It was a partial solar eclipse in Aries, new moon in Aries. Something might have come through for you that maybe has grown. Potentially it was just like a crack of light or a crack of an understanding, piercing through into your consciousness, but perhaps it's grown into something where now Spirit is guiding you to really tap into the energy of cardinal energy, which is action oriented and able to walk into change easily. So ready to shift, ready to pivot, ready to change. And it might require that you are the one that is bold or has the courage to step up in whatever circumstance, this might pertain to. We also have new moon in Libra on deck. A new romantic cycle begins, Pisces. So I don't, depending on where you are at in your own relationships, this could be the beginning of a fresh new cycle entirely, or it could be kind of an up leveling or a new cycle within a relationship, but it could be an entirely new relationship. So tune in for how that feels. New moon in Libra energy is going to be by this fall, by early fall. I don't know when that new moon in Libra will be, but it will be the new moon that's in Libra season that begins after September 21st. Okay, so it's probably going to be towards the beginning of October. That's where the new moons have been landing, or the very tail end of the month. So the central energy is the King of Wands energy. And so perhaps this is the energy that you yourself, regardless of gender, are working with, or perhaps this signifies someone who is really kind of prominently in your life as a soul growth lesson right now. So one of the reasons that I do these readings, Pisces, is to give you more of an opportunity to work very intentionally with the energies of the moon in order to do things like reflect, create affirmations, really do the energy work of planting the new seeds that you wish to grow, right? But we've got this King of Wands who's, someone who's standing in his power, very charismatic, very magnetic. And this very well could be you because the North Node is in your sign. So you're standing in your power, your dignity. King of Wands is like pre-emperor energy. in this very magnetic space. So again, regardless of gender, it's like there's this inner working or inner authority. I just heard inner authority that's really truly guiding you right now. And so I feel like that's something that's being energized. That's something that's pouring into you and being activated within you is your own inner wisdom, your own inner authority, your own inner insight to, without question, follow the right path, follow your internal navigation system. Okay. And you're surrounded here with this Nine of Swords energy that you've been moving through, that's tested you, tested your strength, tested your resolve. And as I'm tuning in, what I'm hearing, what I'm feeling is that intuitively this has been lasting for a prolonged period of time. This has been like a spiritual up-leveling and a dark night of the soul type of energy, because we've got the Wheel of Fortune, a cycle's completing, luck is on your side, but a cycle's completing. Something's ending, and it's going to be ending potentially quickly with the Knight of Wands. It could be quickly, it could be passionately, or it could be that something has ended and something new is rushing right in. Could be a new romantic cycle. But the Knight of Wands is the fastest moving knight, and that card fell out with the Wheel of Fortune. So these go together. So whether that is, again, this is general, whether that is quick changes for you personally or an ending and a brand new passionate beginning on deck, that is what this energy is looking like. And maybe what you want is a passionate new chapter for yourself. Maybe that's something that is what's been calling to you since you've been going through all the stress, all the anxiety, all the worry, the strain of this Nine of Swords energy that you've been holding, right? And so we've got your soul growth message. The first one, and I had to really tune in for a minute and hear what Spirit was saying. But I see that you have been on this journey. The Inner Earth card, Inner Earth, this is a card about you are the person who's gone through this deep journey on the inner world of the earth in this cavernous space. And you've had to navigate in the dark in some pretty scary and unknown territory. You've had to navigate your way through what was unknown. And now what Spirit is saying is you are emerging. You're emerging from that time. And this is the vantage point, Pisces, of you at the very opening of that cave, of that tunnel, of that space. And you're standing at the exit point and you're looking outward and you're seeing these vistas. You're seeing all this lush greenery, all these beautiful vistas, these options, these possibilities and potentials that await for you now that you've gone through the journey. And so it's brought you to a destination that's very ripe. It's ripe with new solutions, new beginnings. And this is a card saying to you that whether you've just completed going through this arduous Nine of Swords, difficult journey period of time, or whether you're still in that final bit, right? This is Spirit saying you will survive this. And not only will you survive this, but once you reach the end and you get to that opening, the light is going to be pouring in full of this beauty, full of this grandeur for you to now experience. And it's almost like a reward for having walked through that difficulty, right? It's like you reach paradise having walked through potentially hell. So underneath the King of Wands energy, we've got Star Keeper. Star Keeper to me is a card that you have been in this very divinely guided, protected, soul leveling up activation space. This particular character is completely surrounded by this divine energetic field, and they are receiving wisdom pouring in through all of their upper chakras within their energetic aura. It's pouring in as a spiritual activation into their crown, activating their third eye, and opening up at this beautiful magnetic portal in the heart. And so this is a card of continuing to ground yourself, clear your energy, work with your energy, do your inner workings, do your Piscean thing of communing with your higher powers, whatever that means to you. My favorite personal way is meditation, and calling in my connections and doing energy work through meditation is my favorite way. And I have a Pisces moon, so I think that speaks to me a lot. But staying grounded is what you are really needing to focus on. And the reason you're needing to focus on it is sort of twofold or threefold, really, I just heard. So I'll tell you what I've got, Pisces. The first reason you need to stay grounded is so that you can continue to clear and transmute your energy, clearing your field, releasing as you can these 9 of Swords, releasing as you go. I'm hearing like rinse and repeat, kind of like shampooing the hair. We're just cleansing the field, cleansing the field. But you're also being activated here. And so as you ground your energy in, each and every time you ground these activated energies in, what you're doing is you're grounding them into a deep physical embodiment. You're grounding them into your own physicality so that these higher vibratory frequencies then become part of who you are. And that's part of this, like, if we want to use, the common terminology, it's part of the spiritual awakening process. You are awakening and receiving higher and higher light codes. It's raising your vibration. It's clearing out the density. And this could be internal density, your own negative thought patterns, negative beliefs that are clearing. I just heard that's true for some of you, has been really about this inner wounding. I just heard inner wounding. That's why it's the inner earth. Oh, goodness. And could it be, Pisces, inner mother wounding? Since the earth is our divine mother. But look, there you are in that state of inner despair. And so whether it has been because you've been on this kind of dark night of the soul journey, or because you are currently upgrading and kind of fleshing out your shadow self, and as a result, all of those shadows have come to the forefront in order to be cleared. And so suddenly you're dealing with things you thought you'd worked on many years before, clearing fears of scarcity or anxieties about certain things. Perhaps that's presenting itself again. And so the guidance is to step into this energy of the King of Wands, to really embody that, because that's what's being grounded into you. through these activations. Okay. And whatever this Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands is pertaining to, we've got the soul growth card as well of karmic relationships, right? So this is literally the card that represents soul growth. It represents conflict and overcoming conflict. It represents, the polarity, the dark and the light, that kind of a polarity within a relationship of what is a healthy expression and what is a less healthy expression, um, in terms of interpersonal communication, emotional intelligence, how we are handling not only ourselves, but how we're being treated within a relationship. And that's the polarity that this is speaking to. This is speaking to karmic contracts. And it could be speaking to the end of a karmic contract, the end, right? And perhaps once that karmic contract ends and clears is when this passionate new beginning and new romantic cycle comes into your field. But it also could be that, you're taking a karmic circumstance and able to transform it through the process of soul growth. I feel like, you will know intuitively what's true. You'll know if this is really meant to be the end, because I believe your intuition is going to be guiding you, and you're going to already kind of feel it. But it is going to go in your favor. It's working with the energy of Jupiter. So it's about an expansion of a new beginning. And, sometimes romance is also indicating like the energy of the Lovers card, which is really about co-creating from this passionate space. And so it can also represent, like, if love is not on the radar for you and you're not interested, this can really also represent something that you are falling in love with in relationship to yourself, like a new passion project, a new hobby, a new job opportunity, or you deciding to go for it on your side business or something like that. But it's something that has a relationship that's very tied up within your heart energy. It's an expression of your heart energy in relationship to yourself, because it's Libra, the scales, right? So it could be a partnership, but I'm feeling like it's driven from the space of the heart. Um, and it's very much driven by the sense of what is passionately igniting you, what's passionately bringing you to life. With this King of Wands energy and Knight of Wands, this is passion, right? It's not just love, it's something that fuels you deeply from within that you can't deny, right? So Pisces, that's what I have for you. I hope you found this helpful. And I really think that's probably a good space for you to sit with, as to go into a state of meditation. Allow yourself to start tuning into that energy of your passion, what's fueling your passion, what's driving your passion, you know, what kind of new beginnings or new solutions might you want to start envisioning. And whatever you do know, whatever's consciously known to you, creating affirmations around those to really start to pull that energy in. Even if it's unknown, you can affirm that you're open to receiving new possibilities and potentials that bring passionate new beginnings and fortuitous energies for your next cycle ahead, right? And that might be a beautiful affirmation to work with. All right, Pisces, thank you so much for joining me. Please hit the like and the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon, and I wish you the best new moon in Taurus. Take good care. Bye-bye.